I just want to point out that weather plays a part in trapping, especially water trapping. I know it plays a part in land trapping here and there, but water trapping, it plays a big part. Last season, it seemed whenever we got a bunch of rain, so basically what I trap off of, how the rain works in this part where I trap spot, is the rain would fill the main creek. Then it has a branch off creek and it comes up into a little swamp and up to private property. Well, it seemed as every time it rained, we would catch 2 beaver, 3 beaver, bunch of muskrat, right? And then it would stop. It would slow down, maybe get one here, every couple days we get one. Then it rained again and the creek came up enough. If it came up halfway or more, the animals moved in basically. So every time it rained, and on the gauge I watched, if it rained 0.4 to 0.8, if it rained 0.8, we know it's going to flood. If it rains 0.4, it's going to, which is inches and stuff like that, it's going to come up enough to bring animals in. So every time it either flooded or it came up, animals flowed in and would catch them in the trap. So last year we caught a lot of beaver in the micro swamp because every couple days it flooded and it brought all the beavers in and all sorts of stuff in. Even if the trap, we left our traps in there, right? So we'll come back and fix them, and sometimes there'll be a beaver in there when it came up, but the majority of the time they'll come up into, which is kind of like a holding, real shallow lake pond, is a holding area, and then they'll move up to where we were. So basically I'll go over it again. There's a creek, main creek, the long creek that goes for a long distance. That's pretty decently sized. They need a bridge to go over it. Then there's a little, they go over the bank into a creek that goes up, then there's a pond. A little short, probably 1.5 foot pond that's foot deep. They move up to where we are after that. So every time the rain came, a flood of beaver and muskrat, nutrient, all that stuff came. So when you pay attention to the weather and how much it fluctuates the water, that has a lot to do with bringing in a new set of animals. So pay attention to the water gauge. The app that I used the most was Weather Underground. You can go on there, you set where you're from, and it'll give you 0.0 inches, 0.0 blank, 0.08, point what, or 0.1 or 1.4. It'll give you how much rain's coming. And there'll be a blue line that'll tell you how much we're going to get and whether it's going to be heavy or not. And based on that, I could tell if we're going to catch beaver the next day. And it pretty much fluctuated like that all season for us. It came up, went down, came up, went down. We'd catch when after it came up. As soon as it started going down, we started catching them. Then it stopped, right? Then it came up again. We caught one on the way up, but then it started going down, and then we started catching them again. Then it died off. Then it came up, didn't catch anything, went back down, and we started catching them. 3 or 4 traps would be filled in a micro swamp. And I'm talking micro swamp. This swamp, that part of section we trapped, is probably about 2,000 feet long. So it's not that long, and it's probably 4 to 10 foot wide in sections. In some sections, it's about 2 foot wide. Just big enough to put the trap in there, the 330, get it down there, block it off, and they'll get caught. We've had times where the water came up, we caught a beaver, we couldn't get back there the next day, so we came the day after, which in Oregon you have a 2-day check on water traps. We'd come check the first trap, the furthest down, we would realize there's bite marks in the beaver. What the beaver did is bite it, claws way over the trap and moved up. If the beaver are mean, right? If the beaver, if something's blocking its way, they're going to bite it, claw, and get up over, they're going to all the way over, right? They're going to climb over so they can keep going. That beaver had 3 or 4 bite marks in it. We knew there's more than one beaver up there. So we started trapping a little higher. We didn't catch anything down low, so we knew it wasn't going back down. We knew sun was up there. We found a den. There was no animals in it. There's muskrat tracks, but no beaver tracks over time. We figured out that there's the brush is a brush, and there's kind of some trees. So he was going up under the brush in a different spot and up in the den that was 10, 15, 20 feet away and lived in there. So he knew he was up there. Eventually, we would set a trap there. He would avoid it, go move some sticks down a little bit. After a while, we couldn't catch him. We put the trap in front of where the sticks were. He was coming out every day, right? Where you think you'd catch him. He stopped going up there. He went up, down further. So he knew he came down there. And then a couple days after that, he came up, went down in the man-made section. I posted in a video before about man-made slides and runs. He came down there and got caught. It was probably a 30-pound beaver, and he ended up getting caught in my 220 Belial. In a man-made ditch. Basically, the ditch was rutted out. I stomped it out, cut it out with a machete to make a spot for my trap, moved it out with my foot, put the trap there, and moved it back a little bit, about 2 feet, put some lure there. So if he was coming from the creek part, he would go into the trap, into the lure. What ended up happening, though, he came from where the lure was down through the trap towards the creek, and he got caught going down towards the water. So, you know, I think what happened there is not necessarily he was attracted through the trap because of the way the lure was. He wasn't in the creek. He figured out that since we put a trap up further, and the one trap didn't move that he got caught in, he went up further, which is that way, right? Or which is downstream, whatever you want. He went further down towards all of other traps, went up the bank, walked down the ditch and into the trap. So do I think the lure from different lure companies tracked him? Yeah, I think the lure brought him over there, and then he realized, something's there. I put a different couple lures there because I wasn't sure where they're getting their caster from. Put a couple different beaver lures, kind of give them different scents. Every couple days I put a different lure there, something different. So it seems like something's working there, something's going through. Eventually got caught. That was a treble beaver. And then the day after that we ended up catching another one up there. So there's multiple beaver up there. It started to dry out, stopped raining. The beaver stopped moving, so we ended up having to pull out because it started the end of the season. The end of the season came, we pulled out. So pay attention to the weather. Water fluctuation means there's going to be beaver moving up. So water comes up, animals move up. Water animals. Water stays down, you catch them all, they're not going to move up yet. You're not going to have a fresh flow of animals moving in. So pay attention to how much water comes up, pay attention to how much water you're going to get the upcoming days, and prepare and play into it and use it against the animals. So it's going to rain, know you're going to have to catch animals, know you got to do the pinch points, know you got to do the slides, you got to pay attention. And always look for new sticks. Seemed like every time water came up, we had new sticks, new animals, like I'm saying. So there's different sign there when we came up. And we noticed that. So kind of planned for it, and we ended up catching them all. So that's a little tip. Pay attention to the weather, pay attention to the water height, pay attention to how much it comes up, and you're going to catch more animals. Have a great day.